What's up, guys? Hope you are having an amazing day. Welcome back to the channel. This is my new favorite point and shoot camera. This is the Nikon Lite Touch Zoom 70 AF. I have information pulled out here because I'm not good at reviewing and talking about cameras, so I'm just gonna share with you the information that is online and show you the results that I got from it and what I think of it. So reading from online, it seems there is like two versions. I mean, there is other Nikon Lite Touch cameras, but this specific one, it seems there is two versions of it, because mine says the Nikon Lite Touch Zoom 70 AF. This one that I'm reading at right now, it just says Nikon Lite Touch Zoom AF. However, they both have 35 to 70 millimeter focal length. So I don't know, they could be the same thing with just the name changing, or maybe based on what country. I know sometimes camera manufacturers do that, so depending on the country that the camera is going to, the name will be different. So I'm not sure why that is so, or if it's two different cameras. However, they both look very identical. You know, when you look on the top here, I don't know if you guys can see, it has the shutter right here, the on and off button, the zoom, the telephoto, and then the wide view. It has the red eye and timer, and then flash or no flash. And they both have similar things. However, with my version, the front of it is very straightforward with this black ring around the lens and this little window for your view, and then I'm sure this is for like the focusing and or exposure. So that is the only difference, is the front kind of looks different, whereas like this one that I'm looking at has two cutout holes in the front, and there is no 70 attached to the name. But look at this camera, really cute, really nice camera. I've had quite a few point and shoot cameras. None of them stuck with me for so long, except my Canon Sure Shot that I had for a long time. I even took it to Ghana. I have a show coming up next week, very big show coming up, and I'll be showing some street photography that I made in Ghana. And as I was selecting the photos for the show, I realized I shot almost 90% of the photos, the street photos that I'll be showing, on my Canon Sure Shot. So I really like that camera. However, I have recently acquired quite a lot of point and shoot cameras. The most I've ever had of any point and shoots camera. So I looked through and decided I'm going to keep two of them, which is this Nikon Lite Touch and then the Konica Big Mini, which we will talk about in a different video. But I have decided to keep these two and potentially let the others go, because I don't need all those cameras. You know, this is enough. But anyways, after I had gotten these, I sold my my Canon Sure Shot to a buddy on Instagram in California, and I hope he enjoys it, and I hope he create beautiful photos with it. But this is what I have now. My buddy Sean and I went for a walk, and I brought this with me. Initially, I didn't know how the framing works, because when you look through here, there is the actual, like the whole view finder, and then there is the black lines in there, and it was confusing me because I didn't know which one you compose with. I didn't know if you compose with the entire frame or if you compose with the black lines. So I reached out to one of my buddies, Chris, and luckily, you know, Chris has quite some knowledge on point and shoot cameras and cameras in general. So he made me understood that you frame with the entire frame, like an entire cutout, the framing, and then when you go into close-up, which is the macro mode, because this camera has a macro feature. So if you go onto very close focusing, that is what you use in composing your shot, is those black lines. But on the normal view, when you're taking normal photos, you use the entire frame, which that happened to be true, because after doing that, I realized all the photos came out just as I plan on, you know, framing them. So that was a little confusing at first when I started shooting it, but then when I figured it out, it was just so fun to shoot this camera. This camera takes the CR1, this, what is it called, this CR123A, CR123A battery, and you know, these batteries last for like a long time. However, most of the time, I don't every single time, but most of the time when I'm going out with any camera that uses battery, I try to bring one extra battery with me, just in case that one, you know, for whatever dies or fails or something like that. But these will last you probably a couple of years, depending on how much you shoot it and how much you use the flash, of course. So like I said, it goes from 35 to 70. Most of the time when I have a point and shoot, I barely use the zoom. I treat it as if it's a prime lens, and this, you can see how compact it is compared to other, you know, point and shoot zooms that is out there. This is why I chose this one, because it's just very small. If you have this, it can literally fit in your pocket. Like, don't know if you guys can see, but it can literally fit in your pocket. If you have a jacket or something, it can fit in the pocket of it, of the jacket. So yeah, it's a 35 to 70. I just use it as 35, and I think the aperture goes from 3.5 to I think 6.5. So that's what you get with this camera. It is so fun. The photos that I got was really sharp. Not as sharp, you know, for a point and shoot. It was good enough to be able to print, because I love to print my work, and most of the time on a 35, the biggest I go will be around like 12 by 18, 11 by 14. I have never printed any 35 16 by 20, but maybe we can do that in the next video and test it out, how it's going to hold up. So so far for me, I know a lot of people go into the science and clinicals of like how sharp a lens is. I don't think I worry about that anymore, because at the end of the day, if you can figure out what it is that I have photographed, if the exposure is right, if the composing is right. I've been investing a lot of time in my composing than even my exposure, even though, you know, they are both important. But with film, give or take, you could have some, you know, wiggle room when it comes to exposure. But if you don't compose your image well, it just will not be good as if it's good exposed. So you can expose an image correctly, but if it's not composed well, to me, it's just you just did nothing. You just pointed a camera at something and just took a photo. So I've been investing a lot of time in composing an image recently, and I have been seeing that within all my 35 works, which has been really satisfying and great. So yeah, I'll show you guys some sample images that I've made on here. My new favorite. I have shot the Konica 2 as well. Like I said, I'll share the photos and talk about it in a different video. But between the two, I think the Nikon is my favorite. And so yeah, I just wanted to share this with you and talk about it and share the photos with you. And let me know in the comments if you have one or if you've shot it before. Yeah, until then, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked the photos that I took with this camera. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Follow me on my Instagram, Edmund K. Boateng. Until then, bye-bye.